For today's Marvel Ultimate Alliance free video, we'll be doing another beginner's guide. This time we'll look at the second X-Men character out the pack of the four. I've already covered Phoenix, and I'll put a link to her guide at the end of this particular video, but today we'll look at Gambit. Now, when I put out a poll in regards to the order I would cover these characters, Gambit came in second with a pretty decent 26%. Now, I've spent a fair amount of time playing around with him, and he really is a lot of fun. So in this video, what we'll cover to let you know how he plays and explain exactly why I'm enjoying him so much. We'll start off with an overview, we'll talk about his stats, we'll then look at his abilities in more detail, we'll check out the team bonuses. We've got the Synergy Attack Guide section, and there's been a slight update to this. We'll then talk about the best ISOs you can put on him in the build I'm running. We'll check out his alternative costume, and we'll finish up with a quick summary. So let's jump in here and we'll start off with the overview. Gambit then is a hybrid character, and he's got a nice mix of ranged and melee attacks, and it makes sense because he does use the bow staff and has kinetically charged cards as well. Now, when we look at the tags on his four abilities, he's got the energy tag which persists across all four of them, so that's really nice for pushing out his damage numbers when we actually look at the build options. He has the element trait, so he can equip fire, ice or shock onto his bow staff. Now, normally this is one I would always go for, but on Gambit from testing, the element will only actually affect his light attack and the luck of the draw attack. That's it, it doesn't affect any other attacks. So personally, I'm finding that I'm not actually using an element on him. I prefer to just ramp up all the energy damage that he is doing. So that's his abilities and his hero trait. In regards to his stats, they aren't great, but stats don't make a character. They can help maybe a weaker character be a bit better, but if a character's got a good set of abilities and they flow well, low stats don't really hold them back much. So if we check them out, his strength is a D, vitality is a D, mastery is a C, which is a little bit on the lower side considering he is an energy character. His resilience is a C, durability is a D, and then finally his energy's up at an A rate. And all the X-Men characters actually have really high energy stat, they're all either A or B, but that's his stats as well. So let's check out the abilities, and as mentioned, this is where he really comes to life. First ability we have here is one that I wasn't too sure about when I first played around with him, but the more I played with him, this is probably my favourite ability on him. So it's called Luck of the Draw. He throws out a series of cards, and there's various ways you can detonate them. Now, if you detonate them with Kinetic Burst, which is the next ability, it will count as a synergy attack. If you're going up against a particular level, you need to do a set amount of synergy damage. He's got a self synergy then, so it can be very useful. Also with this, when you throw it down, if you use his heavy attack button, he'll detonate it, but it won't count as a synergy attack. If when you fire it off, if you continue to spam the button while holding down the right trigger, he'll actually slam down in mid-air and he'll detonate it as well. And this is a move that I'm shown in the gameplay and I actually use a whole lot. I like to use this as an opener against enemies as well. The next ability we have here is Kinetic Burst. It's one I don't use that often, but it does look pretty awesome as he slams the bow staff down and then you get a big burst of kinetic energy. So with this one anyway, damage and stagger rating are both at C, so you'll generally just use it to take out your trash mobs. And as mentioned just a moment ago, if you throw down Luck of the Draw first, you can use Kinetic Burst to turn it into a synergy attack, so do just bear that in mind. The next ability we have here is Deadly Deal. This is an incredible ability and it's probably my favourite projectile attack in the game. So he throws out a series of kinetically charged cards. Now, unlike some characters that may throw one or two projectiles, he throws out an absolute ton, so you'll be doing a huge amount of sustained damage. Now, I actually find that when I've got a boss in an elite staggered or stunned, this is the move that I fall back on, and I've tested it against various different bosses, just spamming the individual abilities, and this is the one that does the most damage. So this will actually be your boss killer, and the nice thing about it is you can do it from range as well. So when the boss breaks out of their stun, you then get range and you're not going to be taking any damage from melee attacks. It also works exceptionally well as a ricochet synergy attack. The final ability we have here is Dangerous Ground. So this skill is unique in that it's a large AoE dot, but you can actually place down 2 at a time, and when I've tested it, the dots actually stack. Sometimes in games like this you only get 1 dot, but they do stack, so you'll see an absolute ton of ticks when you place 2 down. So gameplay wise, what I would do, I'll generally avoid the light attack, which is his bow staff attack, but it can be elementally charged. His heavy I very seldom use, so I'll open with Luck of the Draw. If there's quite a lot of adds I need to take down, I'll use Kinetic Burst, and then I'll drop down 2 dangerous grounds to get those dots, and then I can jump back. Hopefully by then, if it's a boss and an elite, they'll be stunned, and then I'll follow up with Deadly Deal. So you'll have all the ticks from the 2 instances of Dangerous Ground, and then you'll have all the damage coming from Deadly Deal as well, and it's a pretty amazing combination. So that's all his abilities. His Extreme Attack is a standard enough one. He jumps up, throws cards down, and then detonates them. It doesn't have any special effects or anything like that, but his abilities are really awesome, and they make him a huge amount of fun to play. Now the next section will be the team bonuses. With this section here then, we'll check out the teams that Gambit is part of, and we'll see where there's overlapping characters, because that means you'll get a higher team bonus from them. Now at the bottom as well, to make it a bit easier, I've made a slight change. So you've got the top team bonus. This will include the highest team bonus available, and I'll list all the characters available within that category. But you can see team wise, he doesn't have many, it's only 3, so it's X-Men, Agile Fighters and Martial Artists. The top characters you can place them up with, but the team bonus is only 2, so don't feel too forced into using these, because the stack gain won't be that big. It's not like characters that sometimes can be a part of 4 or 5 different teams. But the top characters are Wolverine, Psylocke, Nightcrawler, Gamora, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and also Elektra as well there. So that's the team bonuses. We'll now look at the synergy attacks, and we've got a slight change in this section here, and during the section I'll explain why it's changed. When we look at synergy attacks, then Gambit has 3 different traits. It's Explosive, Burst and Rapid Fire. Probably the most important one is Rapid Fire, because as we mentioned earlier, via his cards you can generate ricocheting. Because he throws them out exceptionally fast, you'll do a huge amount of damage with that. You then have the fact he can self-synergise as well through his first 2 abilities, so do bear that in mind. When it comes to the characters he synergises well with, we used to look at the top 5 characters and also the bottom 5 characters, so that's ones you would generally avoid. But the user that created a spreadsheet I used to actually look at for reference for this is unfortunately no longer updating it. However, we have a Reddit user called Arc of Spades who's come up with a great tool for Ultimate Alliance for looking at synergies and so on, and I'll actually put a link to that below. But using that, we've changed it to the top 5 teams. Now this gives you an idea of the characters that they can run well with to generate synergy attacks, but again, bear in mind Gambit can self-synergise, so it's not essential to do this. But the top 5 teams would all of course include Gambit, so you've got Gambit, Hulk, Luke Cage and Star-Lord. That's a total of 47 different synergy attacks you can get, and this applies to all the top 5 teams. You've then got Crystal, Gamora and Star-Lord. Next up it's Crystal, Star-Lord and Wolverine. We have Crystal, Hulk and Star-Lord, and then in the final spot it's Gambit, Crystal, Luke Cage and Star-Lord as well. So if you want to check it out yourself, or maybe exclude characters, let's say for example you don't like Hulk, you don't want to run him, don't know why that would be the case, but if that's the example, via the great tool that Arc of Spades has created, you can actually exclude characters as well. So once again, the link is in the description in this video. Build option wise then, this is probably the simplest setup I've ever come up with, so we will be spamming his 4 abilities all the time. I generally don't like to use his light or heavy attack, and if you pair him up alongside the likes of Phoenix, then you continue to spam all abilities. You don't have to worry about going back to the basic attacks. But for that reason I would go for Pure Energy. That's on all of his 4 abilities. So you've got increased damage of energy attacks by 19.2, and you've got increased crit chance of energy attacks by 11.1. I would go a little bit heavier on the crit, the reason being you've got those 2 dots that overlap you can place down, so if you're getting a lot of crits from them, the damage can really ramp up. And it's the same when you're throwing out the cards as well, but generally I will wait till an enemy's stunned or staggered because you are rooted when you are throwing out the cards. That's a build option, and yes, I do appreciate, as mentioned, the fact that it is exceptionally simple, but I don't look to reinvent the wheel with these build guides if I don't have to really. If it can be nice and simple, then I'll happily take that. Now let's check out his alternative costume. At the moment then, Gambit's alternative costume is just a simple recolouring. This is unlocked via the gauntlet, that's the X-Men stages. In regards to future costumes we could get, I'd actually like to see the X-Factor costume. That's the one you can see on screen at the moment, just for the fact it's really quite different from other variants you would be able to get there. But let me know in the comments below which Gambit costume you would like to see, and let's now just finish up with a quick summary. Gambit then as a character, when the update first came out and I had a quick look at each of the 4 characters, he didn't really click for me at all, but when I went back to him for this beginner's guide and played around with him a lot more, I really do enjoy him, and I would say gameplay wise out of the 4 X-Men characters he's my favourite by a wide margin. His skills and abilities just flow together so well. It's really nice and easy to build him with his ISO 8, meaning you can push up the damage and the crit numbers, and he's just a great character. They've absolutely nailed how to play him now. If you find that you're maybe struggling a little bit with him, how I was when I first played him, pair him up with Jean or put a ton of energy ice on him so you can avoid using that light and heavy attack, because once you drop them out of rotation he just seems to flow a whole lot better. But they've done exceptionally well with him, and I think he will be one of the characters I'll run if I'm ever going to run an X-Men team for sure. So that's the Gambit beginner's guide. Next up we have Iceman. Following on from that we'll have Cable, and then we'll go back to the remaining 9 or so original characters. I've still to cover them. But as always, I hope the video's been helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you're enjoying Gambit, and if you enjoyed this video, take the time to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and leave a comment below, because it always helps drive the engagement as well. But thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all again soon.